Despite being in such a volatile region, Jordan is the only Middle Eastern nation that shares borders with Saudi Arabia, Israel, Palestine, Syria, and Iraq and manages to maintain peace and stability. You can see from the map that all of Jordan's neighbors, including Israel, Palestine, Syria, and Iraq, are afflicted by war and instability. Jordan, however, has managed to dodge the catastrophe that is consuming these countries. Why is this the case, though? Because of its advantageous location on the path to holy towns like Jerusalem and Hebron, Jordan has historically been a weak nation that has frequently been attacked by empires. This path was widely used by civilizations such as the Ottoman Empire, Muslims, Babylonians, and Crusaders. Because of its geography, history, and specific policies, Jordan is peaceful and stable today despite its stormy past. Jordan's geography, with less than 245 millimeters of annual precipitation, Jordan is one of the driest nations in the Middle East, with almost 75% of its area covered by desert. 70% of its food is imported, while only 12% of its land is arable. This tiny area of rich land is home to almost 90% of Jordan's inhabitants, with the majority of the country remaining uninhabitable. Jordan is also unlucky in terms of natural resources. Jordan only has one gas field, which is enough to power one plant, in contrast to its Middle Eastern neighbors that have abundant oil and gas deposits. It imports the majority of its energy. In contrast to resource-rich nations like Syria and Iraq, Jordan is largely protected by its lack of riches, which gives regional and international superpowers little incentive to meddle directly or indirectly. Jordan's past has not been steady at all. The area was dominated by three kingdoms more than 3,000 years ago: Amman, Moab, and Edom. The Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, and subsequently the Muslim caliphates, Crusaders, and Egyptian Mamluks were among the empires that eventually ruled it. The Ottoman Empire seized power by the 16th century and remained in power until the 20th century. Jordan witnessed minimal development during Ottoman administration because, aside from offering a direct route to Jerusalem, it was regarded as strategically irrelevant. A number of uprisings were put down by irate residents. Jordan supported the British in their fight against the Ottomans during World War I. Following the war, Jordan was a British colony until 1946, when King Abdullah I established the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Difficulties following independence. Jordan's closeness to the recently formed State of Israel presented obvious difficulties. Jordan fought alongside other Arab countries in the First Arab-Israeli War in 1948, 2 years after gaining its independence. Jordan incorporated thousands of Palestinians into its population after capturing the West Bank and East Jerusalem. However, Israel took control of these areas during the 1967 Six-Day War. Jordan was further stressed by later wars in 1970 and 1973, which resulted in severe political and economic instability. Jordan's economic and political structure were significantly impacted during this period, as it also became a haven for Palestinians and other refugees from the surrounding area. Only under King Abdullah II did the nation start to stabilize in 1999. King Abdullah II's role. King Abdullah II gave his subjects safety and well-being top priority. 99% of Jordanians have access to clean drinking water today, even though there hasn't been much rainfall. Jordan has a higher Human Development Index, HDI, than many of its neighbors, at 0.74. The king also encouraged tourism by utilizing its rich heritage. Every year, millions of tourists go to places like Petra, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Jordan provides safety and security, in contrast to Syria and Iraq, where concerns about law and order discourage travel. King Abdullah also established cordial ties with the United States and the United Kingdom, which offer financial assistance for Jordanians' well-being, and he forged a peace pact with Israel. Keeping regional dynamics in balance, Jordan's neutrality policy is largely responsible for its stability. Arab countries praise Jordan for taking in millions of refugees, which relieves pressure on Gulf nations, even though they signed a peace agreement with Israel. Jordan was able to escape the full effects of the 2011 Arab Spring thanks to its neutrality. In order to prevent widespread disturbance, the king promptly responded to the demands of the demonstrators. New difficulties. Jordan's stability, however, is facing fresh difficulties. The nation has recently taken up a pro-Israel attitude, blocking missiles aimed at Israel and refusing to provide aid to Gaza in times of conflict. Its neutrality has been tarnished by these activities, which have infuriated Iran and Palestinian refugees. Jordan's administration may be seriously threatened by Palestinian uprisings and protests. Jordan is also worried about Iran's expanding influence in Syria, which undermines its northern border and makes it easier for weapons to be smuggled in. King Abdullah seems prepared to side with Israel if needed to combat this. The stability of Jordan may be impacted by the changing geopolitical landscape, which could lead to violence in the most stable nation in the area. Watch this space for additional insights in the upcoming video. Goodbye and be careful.